am glad you came to Tiang Valley today. Thank you for being there for me. I didn't realize how much I needed a stranger's ear. Now, there's no rush, but as you try to wrap your mind around this place, feel free to come ask me questions. I'll be right here until night comes.
Hi everybody. I'm not really sure I have a topic. I've been a little bit at a loss lately. I've been feeling kind of bleak, I guess. Just my outlook on things in general hasn't been great. I've talked about it before. I kind of just feel stuck. And it crops up stronger every now and again. Just something happens or whatever, something that reminds me how stagnant everything is for me.
We had a picnic here a long time ago. I can't remember it, but I've seen an old picture. Can you take a new picture? And I'll sit like Dad does in the old one I saw.
He is a great kid.
Mom disappeared one time. Took me a while to find her. She was sitting right here, and she was sad. I got one of her tears on my finger, like a little bug, and I flicked it into the water. And I said, flow, 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 until it didn't sound like a word anymore. It made her feel better. Now I say it. I say it when everything is moving, but we don't want to move. Come on.
I've just kind of been feeling lately like I'm always going to be spending my time trying to get to a point where I can just live my life and be happy. But I'm not actually going to get there. I don't see myself ever getting to that kind of point.
His name is Frenay. I asked him how he ended up sleeping here. Frenay said they were in the valley because they were so hungry. And then there was light everywhere, and they fell asleep forever. They should be old men now, but they couldn't get older if they tried. One time, I saw the monk out here cleaning them. It was so funny. He looked like he hated doing it. I'm not supposed to touch the soldiers, but I let Frenay borrow my pig. I need it back now. Let's go.
I apologize for kind of just starting the video off like this, but it's how I've been feeling. Just things happen that I every time I think I've made some kind of progress or some kind of forward trajectory, something else just comes along and kind of undoes it or you know, sets me back again. It makes it difficult to want to try a lot of times because it you know, after so many tries or after so many times of you know, these things happening, I just kind of, you know, I can see the pattern when it comes up and it just seems pointless. I don't want to take on, you know, new endeavors or anything. I have no reason to, if I have no reason to think that it'll matter or change anything.
Mom wasn't there when he passed away. I was there. Dad had his eyes closed, but he was making a face, like he could see something. So I asked him what he was looking at. He said he was looking at me, and I was all grown up. He saw me, climbing up a hill in the sun. Then he said his memories were falling to the soil and he had to go with them. He didn't want to go, but he had to. He squeezed my hand and it hurt, but I didn't mind. Can we wait here a while? Just to see if something will happen?
I met a boy who lost his father just like I did. It's something I don't talk about much, but I did to him. I've been recording everything for you, but this feels private. I'm not sure if I want to share this with the future.
Like, having my own place to live, for example. Even if that could somehow happen, I would just go from living with people and feeling lonely to just living by myself and feeling lonely. Same prospects for my future, or lack thereof, I guess. Same insecurities and fears. And nothing would really change in any significant or meaningful way. I would just be sad in a different location. I'm fairly convinced that the rest of my life will be this way. And I've kind of lost interest in trying to convince myself otherwise. It just kind of feels like lying or coping.
There isn't enough room for a cemetery in my village. Here, memory is granted space. Land is used to let the living meet the dead. Or maybe it's the other way around.
I know I mentioned a few videos ago that I wanted to do positive topics more frequently, and it just hasn't turned out that way, and I'm sorry for that. But I want to primarily just talk about what's on my mind, and this is what it is right now. I do have an idea for another positive topic that I'll get to soon, I think. I kind of just wanted to cover this first, I guess, just to get it out of my system. To be honest, I sort of think that I always kind of feel this way, like in the background, but not this strongly, like right now. Not to the point that, it's at the forefront of my thinking, which it currently is. I just get like this sometimes, and eventually something will come along that will distract me from it or make it kind of take a back seat for a while. But I think it's always there regardless.
Day 0 will be the day between one season and the next. It will be the moment everything changes. They believe this will create a better season, that it will heal us.
It affects me a lot of the time to the point that it reinforces this feeling that I talked about in the last video, actually, of like that I'm less than other people. And I sincerely believe a strong case could be made that I am, objectively. People have this instinct to, keep picking themselves up and fighting, and, and on very rare occasions, I do as well. But most of the time, I just don't even really want to try. And this tends to bleed over into other parts of like how I view my relationships with other people. I've mentioned this before, but for me, it's strange sometimes being friends with people that I see as inherently better than me in pretty much every conceivable way. I wonder how they see me and what they think of me that they're not saying. And, you know, most times I'm able to, like, quiet that part of my brain. But not all the time. It's difficult. And, lately it's been getting more difficult to not wonder, you know, if they're just being nice, or to avoid a potential, you know, confrontation, which wouldn't happen anyway.
What mark should I
It's difficult sometimes to even talk about certain things in these videos, because some of my real life friends watch them, and I press through it anyway. I've never, like, moderated what I talk about, or, you know, what I'm actually saying, because of that. And it makes me really happy that they're supportive of me. But it definitely was not part of the original plan that I had, which was to just upload and not say anything to anybody. But I was really bad at sticking to that, because I was excited. I was excited to be making content again, and I couldn't not tell some people about it. I got a little off track. So anyway, everyone seems to have this drive to keep persevering and pushing forward and doing everything they can to succeed. And I just don't have that drive. I'm genuinely not convinced that I ever did, like, in my entire life. And I've come to learn kind of recently that my perspective on how I was as a person when I was younger, is pretty different from other people that knew me or were around me, which, to be fair, is probably a pretty common thing. And I know in the last video also I talked about my inner voice or monologue or whatever, talking down to me, you know, all the time. I said it kind of led to this mindset where I can't imagine myself in any sort of significant or important role. But I think beyond that also, I just don't have the drive to make the attempt anymore. This has been for at least a couple years. I tend to just expect nothing, and so I try for nothing, and generally nothing happens in return. Even with this channel, like, I enjoy making videos, and when people comment, I like interacting, and replying, and, you know, reading what they have to say. But I have no expectations for growth or anything like that, and I don't really try to play any of the algorithms games, because I'm just not interested in trying to do that stuff and it not working out anyway. Because that's what would happen. I've had enough experience in my life where that's kind of just how that goes. Those sorts of things. And feeling and thinking this way, it's hard to look to my future with any sort of optimism. Like, I kind of just picture this stagnation where things are the same for me, basically, but I'm just older. It's the same thing, I'm just older. And I don't know how to change that. I don't know how to fix it, because it's so intrinsic to who I am as a person at this point. And I don't mean, like, it's not the sort of thing where, like, I'm prescribing that quality to myself, because no one would, I don't think anyone would do that on purpose. I don't want to think this way, but it's just how I am. And like, I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. I'm not like willingly thinking these things or, you know, whatever. They just, it's how I am. And it's from my observations of other people, it's so unhuman like to me to be that way compared to pretty much anyone else I've known.
Oh, that sound. The camera click. The valley used to be so full of the sounds you couldn't hear yourself think. Now to hear it again. That sweet, awful click. You came to see the work of the reclusive artist. Come here. Let me see.
I just feel like, I don't know, maybe this is a little hyperbolic, but I often feel like some kind of cryptid or something. Like on the surface everything's normal, but there are aspects to my personality and psyche that
What do you think?
are inherently antithetical to what I've observed is typical for a human, and I just can't match up to other people. So
A face worn with the strain of creation. She is compelled to create, like how I feel compelled to document this season.
all right, I've gotten that out. I think for the time being, I'd like to do some different videos, different kinds of videos. There'll still be gaming, but it'll be more, I think, focused on it and a bit more edited. And I'll still come back to these topics every now and then, when the time feels right. Because I still want to make content, but I've been kind of wanting to just change things up a little bit. So, yeah, if you want to comment, please do so. I do like reading comments. If you have any thoughts about this or similar experiences or you know, whatever, and you're comfortable talking about it, I'd love to read what you have to say and answer. Yeah, I guess that's it for now. Thanks for watching, and there'll be more stuff, more different stuff that I'm kind of looking forward to making. So yeah, that's it, I guess. See ya.